Hello everybody and welcome back to Brand Awareness. I think this is episode 13, lucky number 13. I don't know if you guys are superstitious. I want to say I'm not, but I do make my wish every day at 11:11 and 22:22, like 22 past 10. But I only use the positives out of the angel numbers, and then I never think about number 13. However, when I'm sitting on a plane in row 14, I'm obviously aware that it is row 13, that they just skipped. I think that happens also in really high-rise buildings, right? How is everybody? If you are watching this, I don't know if you can even watch this from so far away. I left my notebook out in the rain last night because I was doing notes it is a Sunday morning, I was doing notes very late at night. Also, this is probably why they're pretty shit, but it's really weird weather in Berlin. Thank God I'm leaving in a few days. But if you hear the wind also, like, there's a whole thing going on right now. Have you guys seen the news about the sinking yachts all over? Yeah, it's been a really weird weather. Also, if you're watching this, I don't know if you guys, I feel like I want to do this routine where I talk about my outfit and then I forget every other video. I'm wearing my new Magella Tabby heels. Oh my God, and my tights are pretty broken. I just bought these on sale on Essence, and they are the patterned ones. I wore them on the last Magella Couture show. I think I wore the sparkling ones in the end. But yeah, that night I knew I wanted to own them. And I don't know how many occasions I'm going to have to wear them. So I wore them in the podcast today. And then I'm wearing shorts that you probably can't see. But I'm wearing like silk under millimeter shorts. Okay, Summer is making her bed. And I'm wearing a vintage pleats please. I feel like I'm always in pleats please. Like the summer is just like vibes and pleats please. Pleats please zip up. It has a hood. I feel like my microphone is a little bit too close to my hair and my chin. Sorry if I'm making weird noises, but I guess you guys, I'm used to it. And I got my hair toned and bleached yesterday. It's very gray looking, but that's because I'm going to America and the water there, no offense, so full of whatever it is, it just strips out the toner. So I went extra gray. Yeah, it is end of August. I'm slowly getting back into fashion week, well, not really fashion week mode, but like the emails pre-fashion week are happening at the moment. Like my management is planning where I'm going to, who I'm going with, what shows I'm attending. It seems like I'm definitely doing New York. I don't know how, like if I'm ever doing like an announcement, like I'm half based there, but yeah, I feel like I'm about to be half based in New York, which is a dream come true. So I'm doing that, skipping London, which is kind of, always a bit sad, but I just like, because I'm a dog mom and also for my own mental health, I cannot do the full month. And I have so much respect for everyone who's doing that. And then I'm in Milan for my best friend's wedding. And then I'm in Milan for Fashion Week. And then I'm in Paris. So it's a whole thing. I feel rested from summer, but also not really. I'm sorry for my yawning. I should have had another coffee. It feels like it's been one of the best summers of my life. I have to say, I did such a nice vacation, but also work-wise, and just like being at peace with myself and all of the good things are happening in my life. I feel like I should do an episode where I'm, do you remember episode one where I do like a year in review? I feel like maybe I want to do a half year in review for episode 14. Oh my God, we should have skipped episode 13 and just named it 14. Should we do that? That could be funny. It's too late now, right? Like on the plane when you're skipping the row. Maybe this is like funny in my head, but then not really. My best friend's wedding. I'm giving a speech and I'm quite used to public speaking. However, when it's in front of people that you know and people that you really care about, it's obviously extra frightening. And I think I talked a lot about my creative, like how I work basically is very much like procrastination and waiting for a genius idea. So I already know, which I hope my best friends aren't listening to this, that I will not write a speech. Like I will just come up with something. Like I'm waiting for the genius idea and then will not practice it. I don't know if it's a good idea. Also, I can see myself in a mirror over there. Like it's like kind of like having a viewfinder, and it's very irritating. Yeah. So I'm about to travel. I'm going to LA, where the last time I went to LA was like a work trip with O30 I went to the Fear of God show, and I interviewed Jerry Lorenzo, which you can find Brenda's Business, Jerry Lorenzo. It was actually very fun interviewing him. And to be honest, I have respect for any brand that lasts over 10 years. Fear of God is like 10 years old, maybe older now. He's doing his own thing, and he has his core community. I don't know, I always like when someone is like, yeah, in their own corner. Is corner like a negative thing? In their own little world, has their consumer, doesn't want to attract everybody else, like, and is doing their thing. And I think he's doing that, and I think that's pretty cool. Anyways, I actually, I love LA. Maybe this is like contrary to popular belief. I think I could live there if it weren't so far away. I love driving. I love the pace. I love that everyone's getting up early. Like, it feels like, yeah. But because of time zones, if you have work in Europe, you would just wake up stressed. Like, you wake up at 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. and like the rest of the world, that day has already happened, and that always really stresses me out. I'm very excited. I feel like for safety reasons I shouldn't say where we're staying, but I'm sure we're posting from there. I'm very excited about the hotel that we booked. Love. I don't know if you guys know, but I rarely do like hotel sponsorships. It's never really worth it for the price and then like a bunch of deliverables, and we just like booked one of my dream hotels that I love staying there. So I'm excited. I think I talked about like travel and travel attire before, but it's like such a fun topic. I'm sure I don't have to give any more disclaimers on my own podcast that like everything is a luxury problem and I'm just yapping and whatever. Travel outfit. I like to not look like a total slob, just for my own mood, I would say. So I'm always showered, skincare routine done. I talked about this before, but if you do your skincare routine on a plane, you're nasty in my eyes. I'm really sorry, but that is so disgusting. Planes are disgusting. You moisturize, you seal your face, and then you do not touch your face until you're home or at your hotel and have washed your hands. I think, like, really, sometimes when I'm on a long distance flight, and whether that's an economy or business, I don't care, if I see the girl, maybe that's sexist, if I see anyone with like the face mask on and thinking like they're the shit, sorry, I'm being such a hater, but like, disgusting. That's disgusting. Also, the air, everything's drying. If you put a face mask on, anyways, I'm not a skincare expert. I shouldn't just explain these things to you, but like, it's not the vibe. What also isn't the vibe is wearing socks on a plane. I also don't care if you're in economy or business, walking through the plane with socks and using the bathroom in your socks. Dramatic pause. What? No. Anyways, I try to, I pre-book a vegan meal because I'm plant-based anyways, but I wouldn't eat fish, meat, whatever on the plane. You also get your food before everyone else, so you get to go to sleep before everyone else, or you get to go to the bathroom before everyone else. It's really nice doing the special meal, I have to say. I always pack my own snacks also, just in case. I'm a big fan of dried mango. And I think I also talked about this before, but I sometimes don't even watch movies or anything. Sometimes I'm not even listening to a podcast. I'm just like, it's become such a trend with this like raw dogging the flight, but this is sometimes just my staring at the ceiling time. Sometimes I just, no thoughts behind those eyes, or a lot of thoughts, and I just watch the world map and am vibing. Like, sometimes I'm imagining my future life. Sometimes I have like scenarios that have happened or have not happened that I'm like replaying. I'm in my own little fantasy world on the plane. I am still scared of flying, but it doesn't overly affect my life. Like, I'm still flying. But yeah, that's the vibe. I am packing this afternoon because the next few days are really hectic. I have a meeting. A few of you have asked about updates on my house that I'm renovating, my apartment. I have a meeting tomorrow morning. I'm very excited. Obviously, things are super delayed, but I'm just like, with this kind of stuff, I think if you buy or if you renovate a house, everyone gives you their opinions, whether wanted or not. And everyone told me like things will be three times more expensive than you thought they would be, and will take 3 times longer. So I was prepared for like the worst news ever, and I'm taking it like very relaxed. So I have a meeting tomorrow. I am so ready to move. It's kind of like, well, same with everything, whether that's like admitting to yourself that you're no longer in love with your partner, or like things you can't take back. And I love my apartment and my living situation. I'm very grateful, but I have not changed anything in my apartment in 2 years, and it really is no longer my vibe. Like, I wouldn't do my kind of closet anymore. I wouldn't do my living room like this anymore. So I'm really, really anxious to just get out of here. Obviously, my life and my work, it's like there's content, and my apartment's always in the background. And yeah, it really is no longer my vibe. And I wanted to like buy art and do all of these things. But the realist in me, you know, it's not worth it doing this kind of stuff in a house where you're moving out of. Yeah. Did I tell you guys on the podcast already? I think I posted it on my Instagram. I had a card in my letterbox the other day of like random people. Like, they said, I don't know if they're neighbors or not, but I don't think so. Like, we saw on Instagram that you're moving out soon and we're looking for an apartment. I don't know, that was so invasive. Yeah, I'm having a bit of... Before I started the podcast, obviously it's like very be careful what you wish for. I started the podcast, to talk more, to have another outlet, but also to bond more with people. And that has happened, and I'm really grateful for it. But obviously, there are always these 1 to 10 to 50 people who take the quote-unquote parasocial relationship like a little bit too far. I've not had terrible experiences yet, but I have like several people blocked, several emails blocked of people who really either are mentally not well or are like misunderstanding. Yeah, I don't want to like sound ungrateful here, but yeah, I've had a few weird things happen to me in the last few weeks. Nothing overly scary, just weird and invasive. And obviously, anyone just that is in this kind of space that I'm in is just saying it'll only get worse and you have to get used to it and you can't complain. And yeah, it's very weird, the things that have happened to me. But yeah, I always think about parasocial relationship, right? And people, like, I no longer... In May, I opened my Reddit for the last time, the Reddit about me. And one thing I saw, I mean, like terrible lies and like all this kind of shit, but like one thing I saw was like, she was always bitching about this brand and now she's working with them and I'm so disappointed. And I really think if an influencer or anyone, like a celebrity in the public space, has the power to like disappoint you, like actually make you sad, that is not good. Like, that is something, and I'm not meant to like sound arrogant or anything, but that is something you should seek help for, you know? Your friends should be able to hurt your feelings, your family, but not like strangers online, you know? If I'm not like saying anything mean directly to you. And that was something that I read that I found like, yeah, I'm not trying to make fun of it, like very worrying. So, I don't know, I'm imagining myself right now, like I'm in your ears. Obviously, this is a very intimate thing, right? Like, you can't really get any closer to someone. And now, like, I was so excited for everyone to bond with me, but then there are obviously the 2% of people that take things really the wrong way. And yeah, I'm currently navigating that, like people having opinions on your private life, on your life in general. And it's a very... yeah, weird feeling knowing that as long as I'm in the public eye, that won't stop. Yeah, so it's a really odd thing to navigate. I've been getting, which is really sweet, I've been getting lots of questions. I posted one time, like, what do you want me to talk about in the podcast? And I've gotten lots of personal questions, like questions about personal life and how I'm navigating things. It's like a weird segue into another topic, but friendships, love, whatever. And I don't really feel too comfortable giving advice on love. I've been dating someone for 1 year and I'm really happy, but I think every situation is very different. And friendships, because my life isn't super normal, right? I move a lot and I travel a lot, so I have best friends all over. And in Berlin, I would say like 4 best friends, but 3 of them were like one group. And I've had them for years, and we really became super close in COVID. And they are my my core group of like family here in Berlin. And I used to think someone that changes friends a lot, that's a super red flag. But can you guys hear the birds outside of my door? Wow. That it's a super red flag if someone is like changing friendships a lot. But now being someone that has also left people behind, sometimes not always in the most graceful way, I have to say, like there are things I regret, but with personal growth and like your life changing, if someone doesn't grow with you, or at least like at a similar speed, you know, sometimes things no longer work out. And I think you don't have to stay friends with people just out of loyalty. But someone asked me for my biggest red flag in friendships, but I can like adapt this to anything. And I think this sounds quite brutal, but I don't know how to say it in another way. My biggest red flag in anyone that I meet is insecurity. I think insecurity makes people mean, vicious. Insecure people, either to your face or behind your back, will not clap for you, will backstab you, will not wish you the best, even if it's not even on purpose. If someone is deeply unhappy with themselves, they cannot be happy for someone else. And that to me is always the scariest thing. It's also when I meet someone, an insecure person in a group of people will like embarrass you, talk over you, do anything in their power to like dim your light. And by now I really only have friends. I have a lot of friends that are not on social media, but the people that you do see me with, you know, they are the most supportive people ever. And I have in the last few years only added people to my life and surrounded myself with people who are super driven, who recognize in this industry, if they win, I win. If I win, my friends win. Like this kind of attitude of like we can all prosper in our own way and doesn't take away from anyone. And yeah, I think insecurity to me is always the scariest thing. Like when I meet someone and I just know, they have their own things. They have to work through their own things before being able to support someone else. That is my biggest red flag. But relationship advice, I don't think I'm willing to or able to like give any advice there. I've gotten a lot of questions about long distance, and even there, I think I am in a very unique position where I work for myself and have the money to travel, and so does the person that I'm dating. So I think we are not in a position where it's like very relatable in a way, because the long distance is very far, but we are able to make time whenever we want, almost whenever we want, unless it's like bound to a job. So I feel like, we're in a very privileged position there. But I'm really happy. Other questions, how to find a good management. I made this whole TikTok or reel about how, especially TikTokers, like there's a person that will come up, do a few seasons on fashion, and then they're out. And I often think it has nothing to do with like their lack of talent, but with really bad management, and management that will use you. And especially the field that I work in, it's so arrogant, right? Same with like photography. Like if you shoot for this magazine, then automatically like you cannot get a cool magazine, or you cannot get this job. And with influencing, or the field that I'm in, which is so niche, it's even more specific. Like if you do a certain job, then you're out with a lot of other brands. And red flags to look for in a management. I have only ever been signed to one, and I was independent before. I really think being independent is great if you have enough time to do the paperwork stuff. I don't. Like, this is stuff that makes me really depressed. I don't like numbers. I don't like any like organizational tasks. But I would rather work for myself than being with a management that doesn't, get me. So I don't have a lot of examples because I've only ever been signed with one, but I would say, as I was interviewing, like, I was looking for help because my career was not taking off, but like advancing. So I was looking for help, and the managements that I spoke to often were already in the first conversation offering me things that were like so not up my alley, or clients that I didn't want. And my management that I am with now, within the first, I think it was a Zoom meeting because it was in like hardcore lockdown. It was like, do you want to give lectures? Do you want to give a TED talk? Do you want to be on masterclass? Like, it was so much more like such a visionary approach to where I could go. And yeah, even 3 years ago, I didn't think I would be where I am at right now. And I am very proud of myself for where I am, but I also really have support, behind my back. I have someone who wishes me the best and is speaking to all the clients and is always, they're not pitching me because we're very like attract, don't chase, but it's always like bringing me up in conversations. And I think things to look out for is when someone within the first meeting is like, you can make this amount of money. Granted, maybe you could make this amount of money in the first year, but what are you doing the second year? Like, how do we create longevity? And I talked about this, actually, funny enough, a year and a half ago, or a year ago? No, a year and a half ago. Miami Art Basel 2 years ago, I met Guy, and I did a really great, I don't want to talk about my own work like it's great. I had a really great conversation with him for Brenda's business and Authority, and he was shining like a light on something that I didn't really consider, which was like, how many people are still around from Vine? How many people are still around from YouTube? How many people are still around from like 10 years and being the biggest ever? And granted, there are a lot of factors. Like, some people also get famous or get whatever followers and then decide like, this is not for me, because really this isn't for everyone. And I don't always want to downplay myself, because I feel like on every episode I say I'm so small, but I do not have a really big platform. But the amount of people that like talk about me and like rip me apart and think they kind of have opinions on me, like, it's very scary. So obviously, just because someone like vanishes from the internet doesn't mean like they failed. Often it's also like, this was not for them and it was terrible. And I think a lot of people just don't know what they're getting themselves into. And I thought I knew what I was getting myself into. And now, I don't consume any content about me for my own mental health, and because, don't give them any press. But it's really scary how deranged people are and how people think they know you. And I think for a lot of people, that's just, that's not the life they want to live. Anyways, Stadtkai was talking about how many people are still around, and he was talking about the Paul brothers, for example. I can't say that I'm like a personal fan because I don't know too much about them, but yeah, they seem to be one of the only people who advanced their social media careers into something bigger. And I remember, like, I was a big YouTube watcher when I was in my early 20s, and I don't think any of these people are around anymore. Granted, maybe some of them have also like made the bag and like did good investments and like quote unquote do not have to be on social media anymore, but I think a lot of them also really were mismanaged. And I always find that very interesting, who is still around in a few years. And I think I don't follow like that many social media people, but there's only very few from the last 10 years that are still like at shows and working. But yeah, I just want to say, like, it's obviously not everyone's goal to be in this in 10 years. For me, I think I always want to be somewhat doing something with content. But yeah, I also thought I was ready for this, and then the reality check is like, people are fucking weird. So yeah, anyways, bad management to me, I saw this a lot in the TikTok years, the last few years, because obviously I'm like very my like own entity, but I was talking to the big influencer girls 2 years ago, and they were like, oh my God, the TikTokers are taking over. And yeah, 2 years later, when I'm sitting in a show, there's like 3 of them left, and maybe like a new person that will probably be burnt out by the next year. Yeah, so bad management is giving you way too many jobs, no longevity, doesn't have like a future plan for you, you know. And I do think selling out is a thing. Obviously, generationally, Gen Z supporters and younger are a lot more like, get your bag, like are happy for content creators, whereas millennials are more like sold out, like they sold out. Like, you want to support someone up to a certain point, and then you realize like, oh, I made them successful. Like, I actually don't want them to be successful. I don't want them to be monetarily successful. So I think there's like very different attitudes within the generations, but I don't want to like give names because I'm also not like that involved. But yeah, I would say like the D'Amelio sisters, for example, that for me would be an example of selling out and not venturing into the right businesses, you know, like having like, I don't know if they've launched brands or merch or anything, but it seems like, yeah, you cannot do brand deal after brand deal after brand deal if you don't have like a really core brand yourself, if you aren't the brand. I'm sure they can reverse that with the right management. Yeah, so I always find this very interesting, looking at like who's advancing into which roles. Yeah, and I think management, if you're talking to people, like if you're an influencer and you're having your first talks with potential managements who would sign you, they should be able to give you a 5-year plan. Like, where do they see you 5 years from now? Hopefully not with the same brand activation that they're pitching you this month, just with triple the money. Like, they should be like, let's get you into TV, let's get you into acting, let's get you into design, let's get you, like, they should be able to have a plan for you to also have some kind of exit strategy from just doing social media. I don't want to downplay social media, it's really hard work, but yeah, there should be like a bigger vision for you. That would be my biggest red flag. If you're talking to a management right now and they're just like, oh yeah, you could make 50K per bag activation. Who cares? Like, that is not a long lasting job unless as a 22-year-old, someone is telling you exactly how to invest those 50K as an exit strategy. But yeah, I think a management should be able to tell you, what are we doing with you in 4 years, you know? Anyways. Yeah, my other questions about that I wrote down were like lifestyle and my own lifestyle. It's actually not so interesting. I lead a very boring life, I would say, like on purpose. I hang out with my friends. I do not go out a lot, partly because I don't really drink and I don't do drugs. I think I mentioned this several times. I am not really into fine dining. I love to just hang out with my friends and cook at home, but not, I don't know, I feel like this is like pick me girl energy. I love to be social sometimes. In Berlin, I only really go to like 3 restaurants, which are pretty bougie, but they are like the kind of restaurants like don't kick you out. Like, you can stay seated until 1 a.m. and just talk. So that is like my ideal. Yeah, I cook a lot. I have the very German like brotzeit, like bread in the evening, like cold food. I try to always get 8 hours of sleep. A big part of my life is obviously Summer, my dog. So I wake up, I make myself an espresso. I have a DeLonghi coffee machine. DeLonghi, I don't know how to pronounce DeLonghi. Make myself an espresso. In the summertime, I put the espresso in the fridge or freezer, depending on how long I'm planning to go out for. I go to the dog park. I meet my dog park friends that I don't know their names. We just know each other's dogs' names. They don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what they're doing with their life. It's like amazing small talk every morning, and the dogs are playing. So summer is really a huge part of my day and my routine. I would say it's like 50-50 how she adapts to my life and how I adapt to her life. Like having a dog, you know, things are like scheduled around her. She comes with me pretty much everywhere I go. in Fashion Week, she's in the countryside if it's like a stressful Fashion Week, and she comes to America with me if it's like longer than, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks. Otherwise, I think it's too brutal having the dog. She's in the cabin with me, but still, I don't think that's a nice thing to do. Yeah, my life is quite like serene. I got a question if I'm like watching any series, and I don't. I have 2 games on my phone, and the second one is actually kind of new. I have Sudoku, which I always play on the plane. And then I have the New York Times like games app as of recently, because I'm trying to play Wordle every day. I do not watch any series. I'm locked out of my Netflix since 1.5 years because I found myself just like binge watching anything. Like I cannot just watch one episode. I have to watch the whole thing throughout 3 days. Because I'm in a long distance relationship, often at night I'm just like on the phone to my guy, or I'm on my friends' couches. Like I don't really watch anything. I also don't have a TV. I have a projector if I really want to watch like Lost in Translation, like on the huge wall. But yeah, I find TVs super ugly. Yeah. And then, yeah, I've gotten a lot of questions on like alcohol and drugs and why I don't do it. I'm not quite sure if I want to talk about the drugs thing, because I also think if someone is not very secure or confident in their drug use and is listening to someone talk about why they don't use any, they get so offended. So I'm not sure if I want to get into all of the reasons why I like quit everything. I also was never really a heavy drug user. I have not done any drugs since 2017. This is also the year when I quit smoking. I smoked for quite a long time. I think I started at 13 or 14, very German. I started for all the wrong reasons, for no reason, to be cool in the school break with the older classes and to just sit there and smoke. However, sadly that stuck with me, and I don't really want to talk about smoking in like a positive way, but smoking was my icebreaker. It was like any school, I moved a lot in my year, any school that I went to, university, the cool kids, you lock eyes and you meet each other outside for a cigarette when the class is over. Like that's how it was. And I always used it to, like a conversation starter, and it really worked. And in 2017, when I was in Central Star Mountains, like I just started, and all the cool kids were smoking outside. And after a few months, I set myself the personal challenge. Also, I think smoking all of a sudden became a lot more expensive because I lived in the UK and it was way more expensive than in Germany. But I set myself the personal challenge, like what do I actually use smoking for? And I only used it as conversation starters. And I had this thought of like, can I be interesting enough or confident enough to either be approached or to approach the person I want to approach without a cigarette? And I quit smoking pretty much cold turkey and never looked back. I've not even had a single drag or anything, just because I felt like, you do it like 100% or you don't do it. And I'm super grateful I quit smoking, and I regret smoking for that long. However, socially, I don't regret it because it got me a lot of, I'm sure the people that smoke now, maybe it's the same for you. So it was never really, I think everyone likes to say about themselves, like, I wasn't really addicted. I think I wasn't really addicted, but obviously that's a lie, right? But I thought I was more addicted to the ritual and like having conversation starters. And I just told myself at some point, like, you should not need this anymore. You're interesting enough, or you're cool looking enough, or you're cool enough to be approached by the people that you think are cool, or you get your shit together and approach them yourself without a cigarette. And it's been working really well for me so far. But I do not smoke, and I am dating someone who is sober. So because I don't really need alcohol, I was never really into alcohol. I find it like the respectful thing to do if you have a sober partner and you don't find it hard quitting. So but I wasn't really drinking anyways. I always got extreme hangovers from alcohol. And to be honest, in social situations, a lot of the events that I'm at, I'm kind of working. And I'm very confident in myself, so I don't need the icebreaker anymore. I'm confident enough to be approached or to approach anyone I want when I'm sober. And because a lot of the events are working situations, I'm working. I think, well, same if you're a talent, right? You get booked for several reasons. Some talents also get booked because they bring the vibe, or they bring the drugs, or they bring, like the fun to an event. I was never that. So I think, yeah, be mindful of why you got invited to the function. And if it's a work environment, you are there to represent yourself, maybe impress whoever invited you. Good stretch, Sammy. Summer's coming in the picture. I feel like she's showing everyone her butthole. Ganz toll, mein Schatz. Yeah, so I function really well without alcohol or drugs or cigarettes, and I'm really happy I quit everything. And if any of you are trying to quit, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you can do it. Okay, I'm really very distracted. Oh, someone asked me what my notebooks are. Do you say notebook? Whatever I'm scribbling on. This is actually merch, Susanne Kaufmann, one of the beauty brands I use. But I am a big believer in moleskin. I think they're so expensive, but I think they're really worth it. Same as my pen. I'm pretty sure I gave you the brand before. Uniball Eye Micro Mitsubishi pencil. Yeah, moleskin. Big moleskin girl. Okay, content. I have this theory. Well, it's not really a theory. I just this is the overall topic of how influencers are losing touch with their audience. And I'm sure there's really extensive YouTube commentary, documentaries on it. My title for this is Nobody Cares About Your Avocado Toast. I think it should be titled something else, Nobody Cares About Your Business Flight, or Nobody Cares About Your Ibiza Trip. But and it also ties in, I'm really rambling now, ties in with this not being happy for someone, thinking an influencer quote unquote sold out, this whole topic. Anyways, you make someone big, you feel like you made an influencer happen, and all of a sudden that influencer is making money and their whole lifestyle changes. And I think that isn't necessarily bad, but the content should never change. So what I mean is there's two good examples of this, which is Alex Earl. I think it was always the get ready with me's, and whether or not it's in the, what's the University of Miami called? Well, I don't know. Whether that's in the dorm room or it's in Ibiza, it's still kind of the same format. And I think the best example for this is also Emma Chamberlain. She's, I'm sure, a multi-millionaire, but is still vlogging in a similar style for her audience that grew up with her, but also that made her big, right? And I think what a lot of influencers, where they fail is they have a certain content or relatability or character that makes them popular. Then they make a bunch of money and they switch up. Switching up, aka, is I'm no longer sharing the Amazon link to the leggings because I'm no longer wearing the Amazon link leggings. Or it was get ready with me's and now it's just here's me in the helicopter. Or it was get ready with me's and here's my fine dining. Nobody cares about your avocado toast. I think any influencer, if you're a content creator, be mindful of what your audience wants from you. And I know I'm contradicting myself because if you listen to all the brand awareness episodes, I talk at one episode, I don't know which one, how I do not give my audience what they want. I do whatever I want, but I also think it sounds very cocky, but I think I'm interesting enough whatever I'm doing. And that is also, how do I say this? I do whatever I want to do content-wise, but that is also kind of what my audience signed up for. Brenda will give us whatever, whether it's a meme, whether it's a get ready with me. So I think I'm not the best example for what I'm talking about, but I think a lot of people get big or get popular with something and then they just completely switch up because now they have their dream lifestyle and they want to flex their lifestyle, but no one signed up for this lifestyle, if that makes sense. But yeah, if you're funny, you can be funny on the yacht and you can be funny in your dorm room. But yeah, I think if you're a content creator, really analyze yourself or let someone else analyze you. What is the thing your audience resonates with? And even if your lifestyle gets more luxurious, you should still stick to the content where your audience was able to connect with you. I hope this makes sense. But yeah, I always talk about this with all of my friends. Nobody cares about your avocado toast, because who really wants to see my fine dining experience? Maybe some people want like restaurant recommendations in different cities, but they want them for like aesthetics, like where can I take a good picture, where can I wear the cute outfit for? And yeah, I always find that very interesting when someone gets big and then just completely just doesn't get it, like doesn't understand what the audience wants from them. And I don't think you're like, as a content creator, you're like forever in debt to your audience, you know? I don't think I owe my life to my audience. I think I built my little empire myself, but I think I should be mindful of like, how can I benefit my audience's life? Whether that's like with humor, with fashion, with not gatekeeping where my outfit is from. And yeah, my content, for example, has always been luxury. So it's not like I came up with like being a mango girl and now I'm like Magella girl. Like I was already a Magella girl, even though it was like secondhand and bought on eBay for a lot cheaper than maybe me being able to buy these these pumps right now. But yeah, I love this topic of like observing if someone is so completely unaware of their own like allure, like what made them popular. And yeah, that obviously also is wrong management, right? Like my management should immediately be able to pinpoint what makes Brenda Brenda. Obviously for me it's like my character. It's not like the fashion stuff. It's kind of just like an add-on. But yeah, like, and I think that also happens. I always talk about this influencer versus celebrity. There is a huge gap, and I will, maybe in 30 years I will be VIP, but still I have to give my audience some kind of character, you know? I cannot become big and then switch it up and all of a sudden I'm like mysterious and I don't talk about anything and I'm not giving you my outfit details. Like that would be a flop, you know? I always have to stay a little bit outspoken and show my character. Otherwise, yeah, people wouldn't tune in. And I'm very aware of that. Anyways, yeah, I think it's super important to observe yourself. Nobody cares about your avocado toast. What other notes do I have? I have a parasocial. Yeah, I think I talked about the parasocial relationships a little bit. I don't want to get too far into this. I also I'm so aware that I can never address hate. And I also shouldn't even acknowledge like the emails that I have blocked, right? Because that makes someone aware that I notice they exist, like someone who's actually mentally deranged. So yeah, it's like I find it very difficult to navigate. You know what else happened to me today? Like I'm about to stop recording and pay some bills on a Sunday. I just know the German word. I'm in debt to FedEx. Like 180 euros. And I don't know from who, because it just says like debt to FedEx. I think you guys know I barely accept PR gifts personally because like I have enough stuff, like pay me or don't, but like I have enough clothes. Unless you're like an independent designer, the rules are a little bit different, or you're my friend, the rules are a little bit different, but generally I do not accept gifts. And on the rare occasion that I do, I make sure that if I get a luxury gift, for example, in Germany, like every country has different rules for influencers, but in Germany, I have to declare that and I have to pay taxes on it. So I do not accept gifts that I have to pay taxes on it. I want like, if, let me give an example. High jewelry brand is sending me a ring. I'm not accepting the ring unless they pay the tax for it for me. Otherwise, it's not a gift. And everyone can have different opinions on this kind of stuff, but I would rather not get the gift. Like, why do I have to pay tax? Anyways, so I rarely accept anything. So if I do, like I make sure in the emails or my assistant, sorry, this is like, seems like such a luxury problem, but it's really annoying me. We make sure like customs are dealt with, because otherwise like you do not have to send me things, you know, like it's all fine. I don't need any gifts from anyone. So obviously, even though we're doing all of that, every few months, I get something in the mail that I didn't ask for, that I just accepted because someone was offering it for me. And I just get and here's the customs and it's 300 euros, which is like not a big amount of money for me, but still like, what? Yeah, so it happens to me every few months that someone sends me something and they promise that they took care of everything, and then I still would get the bill after. And then because like I'm not really good with paperwork, and sometimes I forget, and sometimes I don't know where it's from. But yeah, now I have a whole case with FedEx about me having to pay this amount of money. Obviously, I'm paying it today, but just like, do not send me things if you cannot. Again, I'm excluding like independent designers. This is like huge brands. Yeah, so I'm about to pay FedEx my money for a gift that I didn't ask for. This is a very luxury problem. If this is triggering you, maybe you shouldn't listen to this podcast. Anyways, thank you for listening. Oh my God. Last time I told you like the one Baustelle construction work in my life is working out. And I'm very happy to report, touch on wood, that I stick with this. I'm about to go to yoga in an hour, and I've already went twice this week, and I did one circuit training, which killed me. I'm never doing that again. But yeah, I went to yoga twice, and I'm going for the third time this week, and I feel so much better, like so much better mentally. Yeah, so I'm very proud of myself, even if it's just yoga. Like I was not working out at all, and not in the kind of like person that like I didn't study for the test and then gets an A. Like I do not work out, and it really got to my mental health at some point. And yeah, I'm very excited. Obviously, I'm going with babysitters. Like so far, this is the third time I'm going. I'm always going with a friend, just like gym anxiety. But yeah, very exciting stuff. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you had a good summer or winter, whenever and wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah, I'm really excited. I don't know if I told you guys, I'm back on Apple Music also, or Apple Podcasts, with a huge beef over months, and I gave in. So we're back on Apple Podcasts. If you just like are not a Spotify girl, I got last month in August, I got 10,000 subscribers on Spotify, which I'm really excited for. I think, I mentioned this before, but like having people convert to different platforms is so hard. So I feel really, really grateful. And we had like 100,000 streams on Spotify, like people who've downloaded and listened to more than 20 minutes of an episode, which is so, really cool to me. And I don't know where YouTube is at, to be honest. But I'm so happy for Brand, like to have this outlet and to have like a deeper bonding moment. And I hope I don't make anyone feel insecure by talking about this parasocial relationship. I also have parasocial relationship. I just have a healthy boundary of like, this isn't real, right? So I hope no one feels offended by this. I've never had a bad in-person experience with anyone, like anyone who's ever come up to me. Also, you can always come up to me and say hi. Read the room, obviously, if I'm like with friends and stuff. But I've never had one bad experience. People are so lovely, and whoever I'm with, when I don't want to say fan, but when the follower or whoever was saying hi to me leaves, the person next to me is always like, what the fuck, your audience is so nice. And I'm like, yes, that's my baby. So I just hope it stays like this. So I hope I didn't offend anyone with this. I just think it's a topic that no one really speaks about, this parasocial relationship thing, and I'm still also trying to navigate it. But you can always say hi to me. I'm happy to meet anyone ever if you're being nice and respectful, and I've never had one bad experience in real life, just online. I hope I didn't, maybe I shouldn't apologize for this kind of stuff. Some things are just not normal and will not ever be normal. I hope you're doing well, and I'm wishing you a really good day whenever you're listening to this. And it's so cool to me to see when you tag me and show me how, like when you're listening to Brand Awareness, whether you're painting or I'm on the big TV screen or you're on the commute or I'm just on in the background. It's really exciting to me. Okay. We speak soon. Bye.